We are live. Welcome, one and all, to the podcast. It is March already, which I don't know. Once again, time is starting to speed up a little bit for me, as COVID seems to be winding down just the slightest bit. Just the slightest bit. I was able to see friends for once. But we are here for a podcast. We're going to talk about all the latest Pokemon and Nintendo news tonight. Maybe a couple other things. A lot has happened since we last talked. In fact, some surprise Pokemon announcements, which is why I brought back on Rhaeveon. Tonight we are joined by Rhaeveon and the Joho. Um, so much fun. Stick around. Uh, yes, hype. But before we do anything, I would love if you guys don't mind introducing yourselves. Maybe Joho, do you want to go first?
Oh, ladies first.
Okay.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Ray or Rhaeveon, and I'm super excited to be back on here talking about Pokemon because, as we know, the Pokemon Presents was just released last week. Has it already been a week? Oh my goodness, it seems
Yeah,
crazy.
it's. I feel like I'm completely behind because a couple hours is forever in terms of the internet, and now it's
Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm super excited to be back and talking about all things Nintendo and Pokemon, and it's gonna be good. We're gonna have a good time today.
Yes. Um, yeah.
Loving the energy.
Actually, the day that we got that announcement, I was so tempted to message everyone. I'm like, don't message everyone last minute to do something. Um, but there's so much going on. I think if I was talking to KK, and he was like, "Are you covering this?" I'm like, "It can wait a week, fine." Um, but who expected that we were going to get an announcement of, I mean, I guess spoiler alert, the new Pokemon game. Who thought that right off the back of Arceus, we would get Gen is it Gen 9 now?
Gen 9. Yep.
Yeah,
Gen
that's
9
fine.
confirmed.
Woo.
Insane.
Yeah,
And coming this year. It's
and
coming
coming
this
this year.
year.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was a
I
complete shock to me.
I
Yeah, I
know. Part of me was shocked and the other part of me expected it. I don't know why. There was
yeah.
like some weird feeling that I had deep down when they started the trailer. Some people were like, "Is it Detective Pikachu?" But instantly when I saw the trailer, I was like, "This is something. This is Gen 9." I don't know why. I can't explain it, but I just like knew for whatever weird reason.
I mean, it also, like, seeing how much people talk about Detective Pikachu being canceled. Like, that's another reason why I thought it was Gen 9. I mean, the thing is, I didn't expect them to bet the house on Arceus. So I was a weird one thinking that, like, we were going to have Gen 9 um sooner rather than later, but still it still felt soon. It still felt odd. Yeah, what were your first reactions to that trailer? I mean, we got a whole lot from that trailer.
Oh, we did. I think it looks beautiful. Honestly, I think it like even though it's not final footage, I think the game looks really good graphically and design. The colors are so like the colors are so vibrant and they just pop out on the screen at you and it just makes me want to just get in there and walk around and enjoy the whole new region, which we also still don't even have the name of.
I mean, like, you're probably gonna hate me for this, and I'm sure Joho's gonna be critical of the graphics as well. I
Yeah.
I still think they could do better with the graphics. I don't like. I think I might have. Did I even message you this? I messaged someone this. It's like they could do better, but I don't care. Like, they need to clear, a gameplay bar for me, and not much else. And they
So
did that with, yeah.
two
Oh,
things on that. Two things on that.
yeah. Oh, here
Something
we
to
go.
remember is that the Switch is not like your new next gen consoles like Xbox Series X or PS5. It's not even close to the performance capabilities of PS4 and Xbox One. so they still have to operate within that kind of limit.
Yeah,
And you're never gonna get like a truly polished game. The closest we've gotten so far is Breath of the Wild. That game came out 5.5 years ago.
yeah, the Breath of the Wild was really good. Um, I'm trying to think about the others. I think I went back to Xenoblade X, but
That one was good.
Xenoblade X was on the Wii U, so I don't know if that's a
Mhm.
valid comparison.
Well, yeah. Breath of the Wild got released for both Wii U and Switch.
Yes, it was overclocked though. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like it regular developers don't get to overclock the console, but Breath of the Wild literally overclocks the Switch. It's very weird. But you've got Witcher on there. I don't know how it looks. I'm trying to think of the games that are like, because like Pokemon Snap, new Pokemon Snap looks amazing,
That
right?
one was good. It still suffers. So the thing about
Yeah,
Nintendo in general, the second thing that I was gonna say is, they are catering to a very different audience than because normally most game companies are catering to a very specific niche of audience, like ages 18 to 32, and
yeah,
those are all male or female gamers that want that high quality performance intensity, whereas Nintendo markets to everybody from ages 6 up. So
Mhm.
the people in those markets, they figure from their research that as long as they're seeing dollar signs out of them, they don't really care about the quality too much.
right, right. I mean, but they did make a change within with it, with Arceus. That was a huge change,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was a huge change, and I doubt their dollars were affected. I think that they just someone in some game producer, you know, some head of the project was like, I want to see this. you know, I don't even think it was the company's decision.
They saw how successful Breath of the Wild and other open world games were, and how that market was increasing for open world gaming specifically. And I think they had Arceus in development for a while. They were just trying to find the right engine and the right way to go about it. And I think they
Interesting.
settled on. And I also think that Arceus was kind of a testing ground, a breeding ground for Scarlet and Violet, because they were.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
think they
for
were
sure.
legitimately using it as like like, okay, if Arceus really sells, we'll go ahead and make the announcement. We'll push the rest of development. If it doesn't sell and people don't like it and it crashes and burns, we'll go back to the drawing board and we'll hold it in reserve. I think it was really waiting on.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely them testing things out, but I would think that if they had Arceus already kind of brewing in the pot for a very long time, we would have ended up with a more polished product. You know, like if
I
they spent
mean,
a decade on it, we would have ended up with a more polished product. They
you're
have
talking about the same people that released Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I mean, I I don't I don't think they did anything with those games, and I hate to say it because that era, that region, the Sinnoh region is beautiful and great, and that
right.
story's great, but they just trashed Diamond and Pearl with basically a reskin.
Yeah, but that wasn't even Game Freak, right? Um, that wasn't even
It
Game Freak.
wasn't. It wasn't.
No, no, no.
Nope.
They outsourced it.
That's why it was okay. I was like,
Yeah,
why is this
exactly. They
such bad
outsourced it, and so they
quality?
had the time.
So
Um,
they outsourced it while they were working on Arceus. That makes a
exactly,
lot of sense.
exactly. So it's it's the type of thing where like they were able to delegate that off to someone else. They didn't touch the formula. It was paint by numbers, and that was okay because it's by a different developer. And then they went off and they experimented with Arceus, and they used that information to make this new game. But I still don't know. Rhaeveon. I was talking to Rhaeveon at one point and said, I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull off. There's gonna be some compromises they're going to make with the loading times because I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull off what they did with Arceus, but with a giant sprawling world that's just seamless from one end to the other. I don't know. Um,
Yes, I remember you said that to me. I actually, listening to you guys talk about
yeah.
BDSP and Arceus, I have to disagree. Honestly,
Yes. Okay.
I have to disagree with both of you because
Okay.
I think yes, BDSP was like a carbon copy of Diamond and Pearl, but they didn't do anything crazy that people would hate,
Yeah.
and they kept it how they knew that people would like it
Yeah,
no matter what.
it had the
So
formula.
me as Diamond was the first game that I ever played. Diamond was the game that got me into Pokemon. Being able to play BDSP the way that it is was amazing. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I thought the graphics were good. I
Yeah.
thought the design and the coloring was good. The chibis grew on me. At first I didn't like how small they were. I was expecting I still, part of me still wishes that they had done more like a Let's Go style and had like the larger character with the BDSP, but I liked the chibi. After we got it, I was like, "You know what? This is cute. I can get behind this." It does have its little like flaws, but I mean, what game comes out that doesn't have flaws? I mean, we could
Yeah.
talk about Cyberpunk in that case. It came out with tons of flaws. So by comparison, I think Game Freak and Ilka, who were the developers of BDSP, where they were
Oh, okay.
outsourced to, I think they did a great job. I think they did I think they did the minimum. I
Yeah.
don't think they went past and went above and beyond, but it's still a good product, and I am happy to play Brilliant Diamond. It's so much
Yeah.
fun. I must say I've played more of Arceus than BDSP. Once Arceus came out,
Oh yeah.
I sort of even me,
I was just
BDSP kind of got pushed to the side, and Arceus has been you know, that's what we're going for. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I like the
yeah.
graphics too of Arceus. The graphics are very different from BDSP, and then I think they heard us. I think Game Freak heard us because everyone loved Pokemon Snap. Pokemon
Oh
Snap,
yeah.
everyone was like, "Yeah, Pokemon Snap, this looks so good. I wish like everyone looked like this." And so they did that. They took the coloring, I think, the vibrancy of the design of all of their the water and the trees and all of that. They took that design from Snap. They put it into Scarlet and Violet. They also took the character face from Snap and they put that onto the face of the new Scarlet and Violet. Um,
Really?
they did. If you look at the eyes are the biggest giveaway that they took that sort of
Weird.
style of person
That's so
for the new one.
interesting.
And then they took the engine and everything that they had with Arceus. And it's just been this like mashup of all of these things that were good. And so I have high hopes for Scarlet and Violet, and I think that they're going to meet my expectations.
I did want to say with the chibi thing, I was super critical in the beginning. I was
Yeah.
super critical. Um, and then I had to laugh at myself. Like it was three phases. I was super critical, and then I saw that they added when you're in battles, you have the full person, and I'm like, okay, it's just out of battles. And then I don't know if someone brought it up or it just kind of hit me like bricks. They're just doing the original. Like the original fit within the same space as that chibi. The original sprite was essentially a chibi. Like
Yeah.
you can't be upset if red and blue, if you weren't upset with red and blue, why are you upset now? Maybe it just looks a little more cutesy, but they also, up the graphics, which the initial look of Brilliant Diamond did not look as impressive as the polished product. Having said that, I still only got a little into it before picking up Arceus, and you know, it it's I had already just played it, so that's the reason I was not super huge on playing it again. Um, but I think we all kind of agree within the same area where it's paint by numbers, but they didn't do a bad job with it. Like it is. It's fine.
So they
Uh,
did what they could being a mobile game developer because that's what they're primarily known for.
okay.
Mhm.
Um, Ilka is, and so they did what they could with that, and yeah, they stayed in their lane. Which again, Rhaeveon, much like myself, we're lifers for the Pokemon franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times where they can give us packaged, the phrase is packaged dog poop, but I don't want to I don't
Right,
want
right.
to say that exact one, and we'd still buy it because it had the Pokemon brand on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd get really good games like
Yeah.
Arceus. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was just not the kind of growth we wanted to see within the franchise. It was a revisiting, and something that the franchise did need was to go back to the Sinnoh region and that specific story, because I enjoyed, again, Diamond and Pearl probably top 3 in the entire franchise as far as like story and region goes.
Yeah.
But like I just had a huge problem with the step down that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl made, and we see that's because of multiple factors, but
Which
because
thing?
they were
'Cause it seemed
focusing on Arceus.
which thing specifically? Because I'm curious. Because it's like, we'd all get upset if they mess with the formula. They didn't mess with the
Mhm.
formula.
It's not that they didn't mess with the formula; it's that they didn't take chances with growth. Because the
Yeah.
chibi designs on the Switch, in character, as character models, that's fine. It was a niche.
Yeah.
But had they stuck to the same engine as Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, which you could have very easily done, you could have
Yeah.
ported it over just like that, expanded a little bit, and actually brought in the full story from the third entry of the series, which was, go ahead, Rhaeveon.
Platinum?
Platinum. Expanded it and included it in both of the entries of the game, which I don't think they did to an extent,
Is the
or at least had
platinum
some
stuff in there?
DLC. I don't think it is. I
Oh,
want to say it's not.
that's just gonna be DLC down the line.
I mean, if it is, they're too busy giving us Arceus and
I'm sure.
Scarlet and Violet.
I would be surprised that they wouldn't. I feel like
But it
people
seems
would
like
riot.
with the announcement though, they haven't made any with the Pokemon Presents last
Yes.
week. They announced DLC for everything except for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl.
Okay. Yeah.
Which they, in the absence of, you're just kind of like, okay, well, they didn't announce anything from Sword and Shield either, and that had DLC all the way up until Brilliant Diamond
Yeah.
and Shining Pearl. So
Yeah, I feel like Sword and Shield are kind of done with the DLC, especially if we're
yes,
getting Gen 9. I think they're moving on. Like they're moving on to
Well,
the
not
next big thing.
not Sword and Shield, but Brilliant Diamond.
Yeah.
right.
We'll
Well, I'm
get that.
saying like they had made, so even up until just before Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl came out, they had made announcements about updates to Sword and Shield and all that, and
Yeah.
that had been their main
Mhm.
entry focus. And then,
Yeah.
but this time around, whenever we got the Pokemon Presents, I noticed that there was a lack of mentioning of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yeah.
We are getting Shaman now though. The Shaman
Yes.
event is on. So for those of you who don't know, there's like a special code that you can go put it. Is it a code? Do they just
Uh,
or do they just go it's like a present? It's
it
like the
might be
mystery.
mystery gift or
It
something.
it might be
I
a
think
mystery
so.
gift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just have to go into just sign into your BDSP game and then get the mystery gift until like the end of this month. There's like a day where they won't be giving it out anymore and to you have to receive Oak's letter and
Yes.
then you can go and get Shaman legally, I guess you could say, because people had been like you like I don't want to say illegally, quote unquote illegally
Right.
getting Shaman because of a glitch, right?
The
So now
black
you can
market
get
of Pokemon Diamond. Yes.
yeah. Also, I posted pictures in the little podcast section of
Okay.
the Pokemon Snap character and the Gen 9
Oh, wow,
character
you're
and
right.
the
That's
similarities between these two.
interesting. Wow, I'll post
So
that to the
I
Discord
did
later.
want to follow up. The region is a replica of Spain. I
Yes.
can't remember
Yes.
what area of Spain, but the region is a replica of Spain, much like in Sword and Shield. It was a replica of England or the UK.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so we're going to be looking forward to really awesome new environment. Hopefully, new environment.
Yeah.
Spain is largely a coastal kind of thing, or it's known for its coastal getaways and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, and it's also the only European country as far as I know that has a desert in it. And we
Yeah.
see that desert with Stonejourner in the trailer to Gen 9. So I'm excited for that too.
Ah,
So
It's gonna be so
to
interesting.
me, like going back to what Rhaeveon was saying
Yeah.
earlier, to me, the Violet and Scarlet announcement didn't really seem like too much of a surprise, so much as like they were just biding their time. They were holding it back because, again, I feel that if Arceus wasn't very well received, they would have scrubbed a little bit of that announcement,
Yeah,
and they would have
Yeah,
been
absolutely.
I
like,
definitely agree with what you said earlier, Joho. I had the exact same thought when Scarlet and Violet came out, that Arceus is sort of the stepping stone that they took to get to Scarlet and Violet. I
mm-hmm.
almost feel like Game Freak wants to give us the open world because, we had like the wild area
in
open
Sword and
section
Shield.
in Sword and Shield. People loved it and they were like, when are we getting open world Pokemon? And then I think they listened to us. I think they heard what was being said and what was being asked of them. Arceus was their first attempt at making something semi open world, which honestly, in my own opinion, besides like the little loading screens to get to each area,
Yeah.
I think it's open world enough. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's plenty open world.
It's great. It's a perfect stepping stone because I think they're sort of slowly Game Freak, like they've never been known to be super out there with their like next generation.
Yeah.
Like they've sort of stepped
It
one
it
after another when it comes to their new generation. So
it's super brilliant how they have been I gave them so much flack for that in Sword and Shield. Like, you're just giving us one open area. Like, what is this? When, you know, there's a bunch of other games. I'm sure Monster Hunter has so much more. I'm sure that Xenoblade has so much more. Those guys are helping Nintendo on. I think it was the Xenoblade guys who helped Nintendo with Breath of the Wild to make it more vast. There's a ton of these games that are AAA titles, and they are able to accomplish these big things. And I gave Nintendo a lot of flack when they came out with Sword and Shield. It was just like, you get a small area. I mean, looking back, if I was just to look back on things, I would say that like they are making their half steps really gradually. So it's
yeah.
like, maybe I will get what I want. I just have to wait. And I'm
And
already
it
happy
takes
with
time.
Arceus. They
Yeah.
already hit the mark for me in Arceus. I don't need much more.
It's funny
Yeah.
that you mentioned Rhaeveon. It's funny that you mentioned that they're kind of slow to progress, but in reality, Game Freak back in the handheld days, they
Mhm.
were like one of the leading people to like do crazy stuff because you had Gold and Silver, which introduced or at least Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which introduced the Pokemon Walker, where
Yeah,
it
Yes,
was the attachment that you would,
I
and
have that. Yeah.
you had the
I need
original
one of
Gold and
those.
Silver. Actually, not the original. Well, yeah, actually, it was the original Gold and Silver, which did the link cable feature, and that was heavily featured in the game. Back in the days of the GB Color, the Game Boy itself,
Well, Link Cable
they
was in Red and Blue.
it was in red and blue, yeah, but it wasn't like really focused on until Gold and Silver, where it was just like you got more benefit out of having cable than just trading evolutions.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
Um,
I think even with Gold and Silver, they think it started with Gold and Silver. They started the IR stuff, the mystery gift
mhm,
through IR,
yes,
and
yes,
on the freaking playground, we would take the Game Boys and just hold the infrared sensors on the Game Boy Colors and get a gift
yeah.
like
I
every
mean,
day.
that was the stuff that Game Freak did
Crazy.
and Nintendo did during the handheld days was just so innovative that a lot of people didn't want to go to consoles whenever next gens came out, specifically because they were just so tied to the innovation that was handheld games. I mean, you had the wireless connectivity of the DS, and then you had so many each. I feel like with each Pokemon gen from Gen 1 to 5, you just had so much innovative things happening. And then after 5, once Gen 6 rolled around, the biggest complaint about Gen 6 XYZ is that there wasn't anything quote unquote unique outside of the Mega Evolutions.
Well,
Um,
I mean, that was when I came back. I thought that was like kind of the most unique. I was like, it's Pokemon in
but they didn't
3D.
have any. They didn't have any added hardware. They didn't have any new and innovative. I mean, they had their gimmick. Every generation has a gimmick, but they didn't
Okay.
have any added gimmick outside of Mega. And Mega just felt like more. It didn't feel like its own distinct thing. It's just this Pokemon, but more. And it's like
What
people weren't necessarily asking for that as fans. They were
Sure.
asking for a different quality of life to the game.
Which I think they learned from that and gave us the like Alolan region
Yes.
variants, and I think people really like those. They give us different takes on the original Pokemon. Give us your own original, your fan art Pokemon versions of whatever. Um, but like I mean, I skipped Black White, Diamond Pearl, and Black White 2, so I just went straight from I believe it's Ruby and Sapphire to X and Y. And so for me it was
Mm,
like
that's a big change.
yeah, it was like having double Pokemon battles, 2-on-2 Pokemon battles to X and Y which had it in 3D. And I guess that was like the jump for me. That's like how I, experienced it.
Mm.
Um but like what did because you talk about all these innovations, what did Black and White do that was so innovative?
So in Ruby and Sapphire, they had only the regional deck. They didn't have a national dex. Black and White in as well had the regional decks, but you also could trade between that generation and beyond. Whereas after that, they were no longer backwards compatible with trading. I think you cut off. So um, Black and White was the last time you could trade from a Gen 1 all the way up, and so that was the unique thing, is that and then also they didn't have the Pokemon, or they did have Pokemon Walker, but it was also the wireless DS capability that was there.
Yes, that
I
does make
also
sense.
think I also think with Black and White, they were the first game that gave sort of alternate views, like not just the same view that you're like walking around. Like when you go over the bridge, it like
Oh,
moves with
right.
your character. So it's like semi 3D, and then they went fully 3D with X and Y.
And
Yeah.
then I believe Black and White gave you a different story for each one. So instead of, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's how it went. Because with Black you had Zekrom, that was the main kind of legendary antagonist, and it was only Zekrom. You didn't
Interesting.
have to worry about the other one, Kirim. I want to say that
Reshiram.
Yeah, I was like, is
Reshiram,
it Reshiram? And how do I know
and
that? I haven't even played the game.
Reshiram was the opposed.
Reshiram was in black and Zekrom was in white. They did
There
the
you go.
opposite colors for the
Yes.
game.
And
Oh,
that's kind of where they strayed, but you got a completely different story point of view as well, because that changed depending on which version you had. It wasn't just like, oh well, you did get different Pokemon. It
that's
was
interesting.
a completely different story, because you had one was the antagonist in one game, the other one was the antagonist in the other game. And they kind of started a tradition from there, actually. X and Y did kind of the same thing.
So interesting. And I also, uh, I heard that it's Black and White that has the hard mode, which is the thing that I would have appreciated the most in more recent games. But I guess Arceus is just in hard mode, so I don't mind it
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as far as Pokemon games go, yeah, it's
as far as
definitely
Pokemon games.
more difficult. It's definitely more difficult. You don't have to. So one of the things that the community and the fandom enjoy doing are the Nuzlocke, which is quote
Yes,
unquote Pokemon hard mode. Rhaeveon, have
Yep,
you ever
I've
done
done a
Nuzlocks?
Nuzlocke.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous.
I
I've
I,
never done one.
I did
You never
one.
done a Nuzlocke?
Nah.
I did one for Brilliant
Um,
Diamond. Sorry for Diamond for Platinum.
You done one for Platinum? Platinum is the hardest Nuzlocke
It was it was
in
not.
existence.
It was not.
It's supposed to be.
It
I did
depends.
a Nuzlocke of Diamond, so same generation but the different game.
Oh
Because
yeah, yeah.
Cynthia's the hardest gym trainer,
She is.
because she's the hardest hitting lineup, in any franchise
The
or
the
any
Yep,
gym.
the only
I
thing
love her.
is there's like 2 or 3 parts of the game where you're paired up with another trainer and you heal after every battle. So that kind of negates a Nuzlocke.
It does cheat a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So
But there's been people that have like come out with mods to actually, the randomizer Nuzlocks, and
oh
then
yeah.
the actual like harder Nuzlocks that they modded in to where
Mhm.
you don't get those same like healing after story
Yeah,
thing.
if I didn't have that, I would have cried. It wasn't particularly like easy in the early game, but once that happened, and I was like, well, this is broken. Off stream, I just grinded until my Pokemon were not gonna faint in battle. Like, it just made sense.
Yeah.
Um,
So, but yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I'm a lifer. I love the franchise, and
yeah,
where people complain that there's no next gen capability with each new entry, or they're not doing anything new and exciting. I'm like, it's new and exciting to the fandom. It's new and exciting to the community, and
yeah,
you have to remember that Nintendo is focused on broadening their audience. So newer players are literally newer people. Like there's ages 6 to 10 and up, and
Mhm.
you don't want to sit your 10-year-old or your 6-year-old in the middle of something similar to an Elden Rings game and say, "Here you go, kid, have fun." They don't know anything about the game or the long history of the franchise. They're
but
not going to be able to just pick it up and
they
go.
they should know now that the people who played their games, are at an age where they need something a little more challenging as well. Like that's there should be that as
I
well.
guess you could. Yeah, there's an argument for that. There's an argument for making like a new game plus kind of feature,
Yeah.
something that Nintendo is famous for doing, with their original RPG series, um, a long time ago. Back in the days of Super Nintendo and Nintendo and Famicom. So yeah,
Which game had New
but
Game Plus? My
what's that?
RPG? What game had New Game Plus?
Chrono Trigger, as
Oh,
well as a couple of the Final Fantasy entries had New Game Plus, where there
okay.
was you unlocked a little bit more as you went along each playthrough.
Yeah.
And on that note, Pocket, I think Arceus was that.
That's why I
Arceus
was so
definitely,
excited. You
yeah,
you
I think
you see me
Arceus definitely
praising it.
catered more to the older audience of Pokemon.
Yeah. It's yeah, I
At the same time, you still have to cater. Their focus is always on bringing more people in.
Yeah.
sure,
And
but
so that's probably why we had so much dialogue and like tutorial like aspects in the very beginning of the game. That's
Oh
like the
my
one
goodness.
complaint that I have as a longtime Pokemon player
yeah.
is just having so much being told at me and not enough of me exploring myself. But
Yeah.
again, that goes on your point, Joho, of bringing in new audience members, like
Yeah, I
people.
agree with you. I think they could have done that a little bit better with the starter
All they need to
Pokemon.
do
Yeah.
was like have a Pokemon quiz in the beginning. And if you scored above like a mediocre score, they would not do the tutorial. Seriously. Just like, hey, what's a Pokeball? What's this? Oh, wow, it seems like you're very knowledgeable. We're not gonna bog you down with how to catch a Pokemon. You know? Like,
I mean, there's still a chance to do that. Um, but yeah, like I think that would be nice, but I don't want to give Game Freak too much credit for that. I feel like Scarlet and Violet will have something different than what Arceus had, or even Brilliant Diamond Pearl.
for
So
sure. For sure. Arceus is one of the worst visual novels I've ever played. But it does it once you get past the visual novel part, it is very fun. You
there's
know?
okay. So I do have a complaint with the environment. Like Rhaeveon was saying, the environments in Snap were actually miles better
But
than the environments in Arceus.
you can't compare those two. Like I don't. I brought that up as a kind of false comparison because I know that they can make it look beautiful, but with Snap, it's literally a on rails shooter,
Yeah,
and they're going open world. The amount of assets you need to load and the way you need to load them concurrently.
Hmm.
Uh, when you deal with open world games, I mean, I've never built an open world game. I have dealt with developing things at an infinite kind of way. And
right.
the way you do that is you have to load in and out chunks of this world. I mean, like Rhaeveon when we were in Minecraft, you have to load in and out those
Yep.
chunks as you progress, and uh, that is a juggling. That is a whole feat on its own. So to accomplish that, I don't know what hoops they had to go through. It's something
Mhm.
that's far far tougher than Pokemon Snap. Having said that, Monster Hunter, Xenoblade Chronicles X, all of these other games that while they don't have to load, these the difference between Xenoblade Chronicles X and Pokemon is there are, let's say 300 different 3D models of various texture sizes that they have to load two of or five of at a time into the world. Because if you're in a Pokemon
Mhm.
battle, there's two of them fighting against each other. Then there's the models of the trainers. Then there's the models of all the Pokemon who are running around. So, like, they have to make sure that it's able to load any variation of that, right? As opposed to Pokemon Snap, where everything's just on rails. That's why, like, I empathize with them, um, but they are still the biggest franchise in the world. So get it
Yep.
done.
And
That's
on
really
that
it.
note, with comparing it to Snap, you also have to be careful of the fact that Pokemon Snap doesn't have anything else except taking pictures. So of course
Yeah.
they're going to have the environment look amazing. They're going to put all of their budget and all of their efforts into making the environment look as best as they can because that's the only thing that they've got going for them in that kind of game.
Well, I
Whereas
mean,
something like Legends Arceus, you need to like load in the chunks, you need to be able to load in the Pokemon. Sometimes I'm sure you've seen the like when Pokemon are flying, they're like kind of like this when you're like far enough away. They're a bit laggy and
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. The
not
frames drop.
smooth. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. The frames drop until you're close enough to them, which
yeah.
honestly, it's not really that big of a deal for
It's not a
me as a
big deal.
player.
I don't
I'm
notice it.
enjoying the gameplay,
Yes.
the gameplay is what I'm going for with Arceus, and I think they delivered on all accounts. Yeah.
I think they could have gone away with less with Pokemon Snap, and that they did a lot more than we were expecting. Because like they could have made the graphics not as good. Because it's all about the interactions. You're on a rails shooter, and there's always different interactions with the world.
Yeah.
But they made it look gorgeous. So I'm kind of happy about that. Should we take a look at what else was in that Pokemon Direct? Because the Pokemon
Yeah,
Presents. Because I'm
for
super
sure.
curious if you guys actually play any of the side games. I think I mentioned to Ray that I actually picked up the little cafe game, which is absolutely adorable and is, a nonsense Bejeweled. It's a fresh take on like Bejeweled and that type of puzzler. Um, but uh, let's see, because they
Yeah,
were
so
like,
there was announcements for Alolan specific Pokemon in Pokemon Go. You didn't just get
Yep.
the Alolan versions of Gen 1. There was
right,
announcements for
and new
Pokemon Unite,
Pokemon.
which I'm a huge Pokemon Unite fan because it's like one of the better MOBAs that I can play right now that isn't League of Legends.
It's not
Um,
toxic like League. It's
oh yeah,
toxic in its own way, but
right.
never as toxic as League.
Yeah, so thankfully they don't have like a chat feature like they do in League. So
Yeah,
but I'm still a huge fan of Pokemon Unite. In fact, uh, I had not checked up on it until they made the announcement for Pokemon Day,
yeah.
which I jumped on that immediately. And
Mm.
it is so much of a better game than it was whenever I first started playing it a year and a half ago.
Really.
Yes, it really
I
is.
checked in and I was like, oh, it looks like the same game, but I haven't played that
Yeah,
much of it recently.
but like the new Pokemon you get, the expansion of classes and stuff like that is a little bit better because you have Pokemon that are a little bit more versatile. Um, and then of course they have nerfs and buffs, and then the Pokemon Cafe that you were talking about, that announcement,
Yeah.
and getting the codes for Arceus as well as
Mhm.
what else was there a code for Unite, Arceus, and what
There's
else?
a code for Arceus?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two codes that have come out since the announcement. They announced one, which is Arceus Adventure in the Mystery Gifts password, and you're gonna get 30 Ultra Balls, 30 Gigaton Balls, and 30 Jet Balls
Oh,
from
I have
them.
to do that
Yeah.
And then
already.
there's also thanks THX for your with a zero help, and that's you get 5 rare candies, 5 star pieces, and 5 grit rocks or
Hmm.
something like that. Yeah, they gave you
Cool.
those 2 free codes in Arceus, and then they also had the, Daybreak update with Pokemon
Yes.
Legends Arceus with the new, um, massive mass outbreaks, which I am happy for and sad for because they obviously changed how you can shiny hunt with the outbreak
Oh,
method.
I was able to get 2 shinies from mass outbreaks before they did the changes, and now I'm not able to get any
oh
since they've done the
no.
change. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a single shiny, and oh well, I mean I got Ponyta, but I haven't gotten a single shiny, and I haven't played this update yet. I mean, there's just so much to play right now. But is the content good though?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a little funny how you just feed Munchlax berries and then all of a sudden you know what's gonna what's gonna go on in the massive mass outbreaks because there's
Really?
like a bunch of requests that you can do. And then when you get to a certain request, if you feed Maze Munchlax 5 Aguav berries, your arc phone sort of lights up and then all of the little what were question marks as to what Pokemon was outbreaking there. Now Munchlax, with the power of eating these berries, now allows you to see what Pokemon are there. So I think that's like I think they stretched it a little bit with the realism of that, but I mean, I'm glad that we're able to have
Hey, Pokemon God gave you a phone case, and now
that.
you can track everything. Th-
Well, I mean, you have the guard at the town will tell you if there's an outbreak going on, and you can look at your
Yeah.
world map and you'll see an outbreak.
What's the difference
You'll
Yeah.
so I mean that you can still kind of tell that way without having to use your.
Yeah, but for the massive mass outbreaks, that's what Munchlax is used for, not the regular ones.
Mhm.
What is the what's the difference? Because weren't there outbreaks before?
Yes. So outbreaks before were just one kind of Pokemon in one area that was just an outbreak. And if you've played
Yes.
RCS, then you know what an outbreak is, and I don't have to explain that. Uh, Now with the massive mass outbreaks, there's been with the update, they're like, oh, something's happening with the space-time rift. Like these Pokemon are like all gathering around. And so with the massive mass outbreaks, the guard at the front will tell you there's a massive mass outbreak, and when you go to the map to like choose a location to go, you're gonna see like a little circle with a question mark inside of it. And when you zoom in on that area, instead of just one outbreak Pokemon, how there was usually, there's like all over the map, there's all of these different circles with all different outbreak Pokemon.
Oh
And
boy.
if you were to like take Braviary and like sort of fly around, you can see the little areas
Oh boy.
of the breaks that are all there. And you can also get Pokemon that aren't usually in that area. So like in Obsidian Fieldlands, you could get a Chatot and a Spheal outbreak. And you can get them at the same time, but there's a time limit to how long these outbreaks last. You
Uh,
can only from what I've played, you can only go to 3 different outbreaks and catch Pokemon from 3 different outbreaks and then the massive mass outbreak is done and then you can't do it anymore. And with Munchlax, you give him these berries, and instead of a bunch of question marks all over the map, they light up to see what Pokemon. So if you're hunting a specific Pokemon for a shiny, you can see if it's showing up there, and if it's not, you can sort of just leave and come back. And
okay.
there is a new reset method for resetting these massive mass outbreaks. That is, you save in the massive mass outbreak. Then if there's not the Pokemon you're looking for, you leave and you come back and you reset, you leave and come back. And then it should get you a new massive mass outbreak with all different kinds of Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Oh
That.
man. I've never been the shiny hunt guy. But I always appreciate the art of it. I always appreciate the art of it. I have a friend who went, thousands and thousands and thousands of tries trying to get a Lugia, and they were talking to me, and they're like, I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'm Pokemon Silver. I've tried X many times, and I haven't gotten it. I was like, oh man, like that's gotta love a game that you can get that invested in. Gotta love
I know,
a
right?
goal that you can get that invested in.
I don't. Did they have? I don't. In Heart Gold or and Soul Silver or just regular silver?
Gold and silver were where shinies were introduced.
Yeah, but I don't. I think it was only. Wasn't it the non-legendaries that because you could only get shinies of kind of non.
I have to Google that because it would be
Yeah, some
very
Pokemon are
amusing to
shiny
talk to
locked.
them. Huh?
Some Pokemon are shiny locked, meaning that they don't have a shiny that you can access in the game. Like in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Have you heard of the shiny hunting method of like soft resetting your starter until the starter Pokemon is shiny? Legends
Yes.
Arceus got rid of that and they shiny locked the 3 starters so you cannot reset the game and get a shiny like Rowlet, Cyndaquil, or Oshawott. But you can get them as shinies when you get into later in the game. I think it's post game that you can catch them again. I don't know when
Sure.
they become available, but they're available in the space time rifts.
Okay. That makes sense to
And
me.
now in the massive mass outbreaks. The massive mass outbreaks have more rare Pokemon. So Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott show up in these massive mass outbreaks when they would only have been available in space time
It's
rifts
such a
otherwise.
dopamine rush when you get one of
So
those outbreaks.
Yep.
Gen 3 was the first one where legendaries weren't shiny lock. And then for Gen 2 and Gen 1, you could get those in event. You had a possibility of getting shinies in it.
Mm.
I have to I have to make a very important call later.
It's
Yeah.
possible that he was just trying and it would never happen because that Pokemon is just shiny locked. Because
Yeah.
in Arceus, all of the legendaries are shiny locked. You cannot get a shiny legendary in Pokemon Arceus.
What?
Same with Sword and Shield.
Same with Sword and Shield. Okay,
Really?
You had to. They were specifically only event available after a year and a half of the game being.
right. Yeah. So they do shiny lock the legendary Pokemon.
They for a brief period, I think it was from like Gen 3 to Gen 6. You could get a shiny by doing the soft resets, and then
Yes.
once Gen 7 hit with the Alolan, you couldn't get them. You had to wait for a special event, which Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were really cool because that was the big event where you could go back and you get all of the legendaries in form because Ultra Sun and Moon gave you that access. Thank you so much for the raid, Tuba.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, Tuba Swan, thank you so much for the raid. I'm like here like, scrambling. We are talking, if anyone just popped in now, ask any questions below. We are talking about Pokemon Arceus now. We're going through the Pokemon Presents and Nintendo Direct at some point. Hopefully, we'll get to it. Uh, and uh, we're talking about things we like, things we weren't super happy about, and shinies. I guess a question to chat would be like, uh, what what is the shiny you chased the most?
Oh, for me it was Eevee. It's
Oh,
always
it's
been Eevee.
Eevee. I'm not
Always.
surprised, and yet, like, how many of them have you gotten? Have you gotten enough yet?
No. So in Legends Arceus, I only have the one, and it was from the outbreak reset method that they have since gotten rid of. Very sad about that. So I can no longer shiny hunt that way. Now I just have to hope and pray that I get another shiny Eevee. My first shiny Eevee hunt was in Pokemon Sword, and it took me 713 eggs to hatch
Oh,
until I got it.
oh
And
man.
it took me 4 hours in Pokemon Let's Go to
People
get
don't
a
give
shiny
those
Eevee
Dittos
there.
enough credit. They work very hard.
Oh, I know.
Uh, yeah. But so what we're seeing in chat, Solrock, Dragon
Okay.
James hunted Solrock. That's crazy. Um, man, yeah, I never hunted anything. It's just never been my thing.
Shiny
Um,
Wooper is still evaded me. I
oh
still have
really?
not been
You
able
will
to get
get it.
Shiny Wooper. I need it. I need Shiny Wooper. And I'm so upset that they did not put Wooper and Quagsire in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I am so upset. They would have fit right into the Crimson Mirelands with their
Yeah.
water ground typing in the bog. Come on.
Yeah.
They
They
would have
didn't
been
even. They didn't
perfect.
even. They didn't even have them in the dimension rifts because I know you can only get certain.
No!
No.
There's
So the
no
thing about
quags.
cool thing about dimension rifts, I like that more as a gimmick than I do the alpha or the outbreaks, is that
Mm.
they include Pokemon from other regions.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
In the
Not
dimension rift.
quags. Quags, no. The only Pokemon that are in those rifts though are the ones that are still in the
Sinnoh
like I
region.
guess national dex of Arceus, which is the
Mhm.
242,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Like if you look an entire Hisui region, they have Porygon already set. They have Cranidos and Shieldon, and their Evo's like already
Oh,
set.
okay.
And
Okay, that makes.
Quagsire is not in it. So
Ah.
what I want personally is for them to come out with DLC of some sort of like I mean they've talked through Arceus. They've laid the seed, they've planted the seed
Yeah.
that it's possible where they have like new people moving to Hisui and they're like, "Oh, welcome to Hisui." I think that someone should like bring new Pokemon to Hisui, kind of like invasive species
Oh,
almost, and just bring
interesting.
all the Whoopers. Let the Whoopers invade the Crimson Mirelands. It'll make the Crimson Mirelands a much better place to be.
It's
Well,
funny
I
too, because
definitely
then you
don't
could
want
add
them.
lore about how they disappeared.
Yeah, there
Mhm.
you go.
Yeah.
I would prefer those.
Quagsire is available in BDSP, like in modern day Sinnoh. There's Quagsire in the Safari Zone.
In
Oh,
the
nice.
remake.
No, and the original. You can
In
get
the
Oh,
Quagsire
original.
in the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Safari Zone.
interesting.
Actually,
So,
that's a neat trick to do. Going back to the Nuzlocking for Nuzlocke Platinum, a
mm,
lot of pro Nuzlockers would go and get Quagsire because it has such a really good typing against the Elite Fours, and it has a good move set too. You can learn Earthquake and stuff
yeah,
like that.
I
Quagsire is the most OP.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In Nuzlocke's, Quagsire is amazing because he has the water ground typing, which is very hard to beat.
We
Yeah,
love
I
Quagsire.
I can only imagine doing a Nuzlocke in Arceus. It just seems like it would be mean.
I want to
Like,
try it.
oh my gosh, I can't. Um, we were going down the line of the different announcements. Does anyone? I have to pronounce this super correctly. Does anyone play Pokemon Masters EX?
Yeah.
You gotta
I did
pronounce.
for a little bit. I did for a little bit.
I have
I
not.
I played it originally, and it was one of the things that got me to like hack my phone, and because it's a grindy game. Like it is a game that its only goal is to get you to sit there and play for as long as humanly possible. Um,
I don't know
so
anything about it, honestly.
oh
Never played it.
really? It's a really
No.
So
neat concept. Like instead
yeah,
of instead of having Pokemon, you have a trainer paired with a Pokemon. Kind of like Pokemon Conquest for the one or two people who know that one. And
Mm.
uh it's kind of cool because you get Gengar with Agatha or Misty
Mm.
with Staryu? Is it Starmie? Whatever you and you do 3-on-3 battles with these with three trainers and their three Pokemon. So it's more about like the history of Pokemon. Professor Oak
Mm.
and Mew, Giovanni and Mewtwo, I think. And so it's really cool. But it also is just kind of a gotcha game. That's it.
yeah. It reminds me a lot of those auto battlers.
Yeah, it's very similar to an auto battler, and like I liked it in the beginning, and now it's one of those things, where they had to put a limit on the amount of time you can play it.
Mm.
So you have stamina involved with like the amount of matches you can have, but you have to play an absurd amount of matches to grind enough coin to do anything. So it's just not a game for
Well,
humans.
okay. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember, like the 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 month of release for Pokemon Masters EX. People were exploiting the fact that you get a whole bunch of crystals or gems. I can't remember what the currency is through all of these events, and it pretty much made it to where you could just sit there and battle the entirety of like a 24-hour period. And the reason why they imposed those kind of limitations on there was stamina and everything was so that you couldn't take advantage of the event loops, is what they're called.
Yeah.
So you would just sit there and go through the whole list of you know, achievements for one event, and you would use the gems that you built up to then do the next event. And so if you
Interesting.
staggered it correctly, you would be able to level up and get those six or however many stars, 5 or 6 star
Yeah.
trainers and their Pokemons. Um, and then by the end of like 3.5 month period, you would have grinded to have the best trainer lineup,
Yeah.
even some rare.
It. Yeah. But then it just kind of the game broke itself. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I didn't look it up at all. I just was like, you want me to do a Pokemon battle 300 times. I'm not going to sit here and press those buttons. I don't care. Like, when your game institutes an auto battler, you have a problem. If it has a button that says auto battle during the battle, you have a
Yeah.
problem.
Yep. No, I agree. That's why I kind of dropped it. So I played it for about 2.5 months, and which is funny because I played Pokemon Go for I, almost 3.5 years,
Yeah, yeah.
and I loved that game so much. But it got to the point to where there was nothing new going on with it. You know,
Mhm.
they didn't really do anything too inventive, and
Mm.
I still don't use it. My kids actually play it a little bit more than I do, which is only on Community Day, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, like Pokemon Masters EX, I haven't gone back to it since I stopped playing.
Yeah, I mean, I just went back to it because you get all this in-game currency, and I'm like, yes, I got something today. You know, feel a little bit better about myself for no reason. Um, and they give you a lot of currency, but like, I don't care to actually play the game. All I did with it, because what you do is you can now get more Pokemon by the currency they give you allows you to kind of use a crane machine. Not a crane machine. What are the gumball
It's
machines?
a good ball machine.
Yeah, essentially a gumball machine, and like sometimes you'll get like a Charizard and Blaine, or sorry, Charizard and Red. You know, you'll get like the cool characters. I'm like, okay, I'll play that, but your game isn't fun. Uh, what can I say there? So yeah.
So
What other janky games are in there?
I think that was just outside of the Pokemon Masters EX and the Cafe Unite and Go. I think
Yeah,
that
Go
was
added all of the Alolan
yes.
Pokemon. So
And
they're
Which
slowly catching
yes,
up with the
yeah,
generations.
they had,
Oh, they
which is
did
so funny.
talk about a new anime. They talked about that they're going
yes,
to do
Oh,
a new anime with Legends Arceus based in the Hisui region, and I'm really
Lycanroc.
excited about that.
I think Lycanroc is the starter.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't
um,
know. All I remember is they had like a picture of like a Hisui person with like a
Yes.
Pokemon. I think it's Zorua
Oh,
shadow in the
Zerora, maybe. I don't know. It was like a dog that stands upright. What are those dogs that stand upright?
back.
listen, I'm excited
Lycanroc
because
is one.
Generations was amazing.
I
If
still
you
haven't
haven't
watched
seen it,
that.
you need to watch it.
I heard it was
Generations was
great.
so,
I still gotta get on that.
and Origins was the predecessor to Generations, which I loved. Origins gave us a better look at Red's Chronicles.
Right, that's the one I
Um,
actually thought you were talking about. The one
no,
where
no,
it's
no,
actually
no. So
red
Generations is the shorts series of shorts. So Origins is the 5 or 6 episode
on YouTube.
uh miniseries, and
Yeah,
then Generations is a bunch of shorts throughout the different gens of like a different version of how the events went down in those the main story. So a different
interesting.
POV.
So much to watch too.
I know, but Generations was solid for 2 years, and then I heard the same people were working on what Ray said was the new Pokemon anime. So I was like, yes, we'll have a good narrative.
That'd be
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
excited. I haven't watched the anime in a very long time. The only episodes of the anime that I've watched are Gen 1, 2, some of 3, some of 4, and a little tiny little bit of 5. And then I haven't watched like any anime
I think I watched
other.
like Gen 1,
So
and that was
right
it.
now on Netflix, you can get gens. It's a sparse selection, but you can get gens 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right now, they're
Mm.
focusing a lot on 8, and it actually is really good because in this one, Ash is less concerned about being the best Pokemon trainer in the world and more concerned about catching them all.
The very
Um,
best that no one ever was.
yeah, he's less concerned with that, and he's more concerned about catching them all. And even Go, to an extent, is more. Go is the alternate main character. Um, but yeah, I like it better because it doesn't have the cheesy like he wants to be the very best.
That's awesome. Yeah,
That's right.
because like, what do you do? I don't know. I don't even understand how that how the show progresses. I guess just as you add new regions, going to new regions. I only saw the first gen, and then
He's been 10. Let's
the
just
first two
say
movies.
he's been 10 for up until Gen 6, I think. They finally confirmed in one of the episodes that they gave like an actual timeline. They finally confirmed that he had grown up to be at least 14.
Oh wow.
So he had been 10 for the longest time, and then I think in Gen 5 or 6, whenever he had an older look to him as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Even in the Alolan series, they confirmed that he was a little older.
Wow.
There you go. Well,
But
before we move on from the Pokemon news, because we did basically cover everything,
Oh,
I have one
everything.
question. I have one question for you guys
Okay.
and for the chat. Based on just first assumption, which starter do you like? The Gen 9, Sprigatito, the Grass Cat, Fuecoco, the Fire Crocodile, or Quaxley, the Water Duck?
Do you want to go first, Joho?
yep,
Go for it.
Sprigatito, because the grass cat looks like it's gonna have a better typing than the other two. Because when you look at Fuecoco, people are saying Ghost Pepper, which means we're gonna have another Ghost Fire starter,
Oh.
Hmm.
uh, even though we just had Ghost Fire in the form of Lava Quill's evolution with Arceus. So I'm looking forward to a
Oh,
new.
Typhlosion, yes.
Yeah, Typhlosion was Ghost Fire for Arceus.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing like, because I'm really like I'm a huge like Decidueye fan because it had a different typing than the normal starters did. So
Mm.
that's what I'm interested in seeing if Sprigatito is gonna be more than just, you know, I'm hoping it's gonna be something.
That's interesting. Yeah. I'm going Pikachu. No, I I I am ready to mow my cat. I am ready to bring my leaf blower. And like I it just reminded me I posted this. I'm probably the only one who thought of the first thing I thought of was Billy Madison. The him in the classroom
Mhm.
in first grade pre first or something or first grade, and he's
Yeah.
like they're like, "What are you drawing?" He's like, "It's a blue duck. I've never seen a blue duck, so what wanted to see one, so I drew a blue duck." And that's what I think of when I think of grass kitty. Like you gave an arbitrary color and now you have a type. You got to go with it.
Yeah.
If you
I
did,
also love the grass cat.
yeah.
Sprigatito is so adorable, but they better not do an Incineroar with it because
Oh,
I hated Incineroar.
they're
I
totally doing
hate
Incineroar.
that Litten, this adorable
It's so
cat,
adorable.
went to Torracat, which is cool,
Yeah,
and then it just went on 2 feet and looked like a human, and I
yeah.
was like, "This is a horrible
It
final
Can
turned.
eagle."
I be honest with you? I actually kept my Torcat the entirety of my run through.
That's
Really?
hilarious.
Yes,
Didn't even
because
know.
I was like I don't need firefighting. I just need straight fire because
Yeah.
it has a better 4x advantage than firefighting does. So
Bring back the adorable evolutions. Like it evolves into toxic masculinity, and I don't. We've
the
got.
I
Quaxley. So what set me off about the Quaxley? I was like, oh, it's just Donald Duck. Like it kind of
Yeah,
struck me as lazy character design. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
I
I
think
I
mean,
did love
Quaxley is
that.
so cute, though.
it
I
is
think
cute.
he gets way too much hate for how cute he is.
Yeah, exactly. We do have
But
answers in chat. We got Lobster saying that they're going water, and Burns is going grass caddy. Um,
I don't
that's more
hate
because
them. I just like I feel like some of the designs are kind of like, oh, you could have done.
no, like the grass kitty is it's just a cat.
Yeah, it's a green cat.
It's just a green cat, and people are
Whenever I
making fun of the
first,
Donald Duck riff off. They ripped off a generic cat.
yeah, when I first saw the starters, I was not impressed. Looking at them a little bit more, I'm not as impressed. Just more interested to see what their evolutions are gonna be.
Yeah,
And hope and pray that they don't turn it into a whole inferno or
Monferno.
yeah
Yeah.
they
How do
don't
you
turn it into that.
how do you guys feel about the sword and shields starters? I forget what they were. A
Oh,
Sawhole.
Cinderace is my boy. Like I
Yeah.
actually stand every single one of those evolutions. Those are
Yeah.
actually my favorite starter lines. Yeah, I
The
stand
the
every
the
single one of
monkey
those.
that brings out bongos.
Yes. Have you seen his like the Gigantamax version is just dope.
I have to check out Gigantamax. I have not yet. Uh
Okay, Gigantamax, as far as that gimmick, is one of my favorite because I'm a huge kaiju fan. Alpha Pokemon are growing on me as far as gimmicks go,
yeah.
but like as far as design, like Cinderace and the Sopple's evolution, which is
Emo sniper.
Emo Sniper, like those are
Yeah.
just great.
Emo
And
sniper lizard.
like the fact that Cinderace is my favorite fire starter. Period. I'm a huge Charizard fan, but you can't knock my boy Cinderace. The fact that he has a move that changes his typing per move, and he also starts with a flying move at his after his third evolution. It's just like after his stage 2. That's amazing. Like
Who
I haven't
changes?
seen. So Cinderace changes his typing according to the move that he does, and
Really?
it's not in the original. It's you get a downloadable um version of each of the three Pokemon if you put in a certain code, and then it's called it's like a Spanish word, but um it's his attribute, and you can only get it through the DLC, and it's amazing. But
Interesting.
in his normal line, like his normal progression, he has a flying move. Like it's like a kick of some sort, and like he's the only one outside of Charizard that I've seen, and Monfernape I think has access to him too.
Okay.
But um, he's the only one that I've seen that, or Infernape, sorry. He's the only one that I've seen that has access to flying moves as a fire
Yeah.
outside of those.
I'm always a fire I'm literally typing I'm always a fire starter. Uh I love how that's just like a statement. No, I always go with the fire starters, but the monkey one and this crocodile are not really catering to me. I don't know. Aside from that, I think I've done everything fire. I mean Cyndaquil, come on. Alas,
Been
alas.
fairly even.
What?
I've been fairly even with what I choose. I tend to have like a couple fire, couple grass, couple water in each generation. I pick a
Yep,
different.
I agree.
I
That's a
don't
good way
have
to
a
go.
specific one. I just pick the one that I like the most.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Um,
I'm definitely going to like when we get the final evolutions for Gen 9, I will definitely take a look and see which one of those I want, and then ultimately that'll help my decision. But right now, based on just those ones, I'm gonna pick the cat.
I'm gonna pick the
And it
cat.
better stay quadrupedal because if
Yeah,
it goes bipedal, I'm gonna be very mad.
Oh, I'd hate to see a Mad Ray. I'd hate to.
yeah. We're gonna have to
Although
hack
Quick
Ray's
Coco is
Switch.
also really great. I just posted a picture also in the podcast group.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All of the crocodile slash shark
Oh
kind of,
man, that is really great.
and it
We'll have to
makes
move
Fuecoco
that.
just look. I don't know if anyone who's watching us has seen the picture of Totodile, Fuecoco, Sandile, and Gibble just going ah.
We'll post
I
it
love
in the
them.
main of the Discord after, so
Yes,
people can see it. That is kind of hilarious. Yeah, the crocodiles. They
it
definitely
makes me
have
want to
unique
have a team.
design. What?
It makes me want to have a team of just those Pokemon.
Oh
Of
yeah.
crocodile Pokemon.
Yeah, with Gibble. Gibble's a shark. He's not a, but you
Yeah.
know,
But he can
he counts.
he
He
can
counts.
clamp. Yeah.
Just
But
imagine a team of that though. Krokorok, yeah, Krokorok, Feraligatr, the final Evo Fuecoco, and Garchomp. Like
yeah.
that's such a stacked team already.
You have to keep them because they have a very similar design. Those crocodiles that you sent, so you have to
Hmm.
keep them at that form. I feel like it gets
At their first
it's
form.
blasphemous to go anywhere else. Yeah.
but yeah, like I generally I like the starter designs and the diversity there
Yeah.
in some of the later gens because they really spice it up. But
Yeah.
yeah, as far as like starters go for Gen 9, I'm not impressed, but I will say I want to choose Grass Kitty over the other two. Fuecoco, it's unique.
Hard to
But I just
pronounce.
yeah, I just get like weird vibes off of it. Um, because it's like they've already done this kind of thing with Apollini, I think is his name. The one in Sword and Shield that evolves from an apple dragon to a pie dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget.
Applin. It's
Applin.
Applin and into something else.
And so, by the way, Mitch apparently says apparently with the grass kitty you can make a full team of cats now with the type diversity.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess you could do that with Rhaeveon responds. Yeah, I guess you could make a whole team with Eevees. I guess they're all cats. Yeah.
Those are foxes though.
Are
Eevee
they?
is like a mixture between a cat, a dog, and a fox. Like I wouldn't say it's one of any of those animals. It's like its
Yeah.
own little mixture. And it's the cutest.
And
What
it's
can
the
I say?
cute. Yeah. Oh man.
I'm a huge fan of the evolutions. My kids are too.
They're the best.
They
Like
are.
we've spent so much money on Sylveon, Vaporeon, Flareon, Jolteon dolls.
Sylveon.
Or I
So
mean
good.
plushies.
Oh
Oh
man.
yeah, I have all the plushies. The Pokemon Center, like the Pokemon Center originals.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you're lucky. You're fortunate to have access because we couldn't get them here.
I mean, I was
Really?
just at the Pokemon Center. I don't know how I'd get them to you. I still have to mail Rayveon's things, but I have access, and they have every. Well, I don't know if I saw the fairy one, but aside from that, I saw every one. The $20 version, not the sitting cutie, the like full on
Yep,
one.
I have all of the full on
Oh
ones. They're
no way!
really
Nice, nice.
That's amazing.
and I love them. I cuddle them always.
All right, so there was a Nintendo Direct that happened
Yes,
2 weeks
that what
before the
was we were having too much
Pokemon
fun. Nintendo Direct.
Presents.
So the Nintendo Direct had a couple things. I mean, what was there were
Oh,
a
it
lot
was
of
stacked.
flutes.
It was actually stacked. Like I'm not gonna lie, this
Yeah,
Nintendo Direct was surprising.
yeah, I
It
guess
was very.
so. Because it did have strikers. It had. Oh man, like when I'm looking at every game announced, there is a lot here.
Yeah.
No, No
Yep. It had
Man's Sky.
Xenoblade. It had Xenoblade Strikers.
Yeah.
The Mario Kart World Tour, which was insane.
Oh, I'm excited for the
Well,
Mario Kart DLC.
the Mario
Yeah.
Kart DLC is interesting. They are really stretching things with the 48 tracks.
Okay, but it's 48 tracks for $25
Yes.
versus the $48 deal for World Tour with less tracks.
Yes. And that's the thing, like I want to be clear that like it's a great deal. Having said it's a fantastic deal, these are tracks from the mobile game. There's no issue with that.
Yeah.
They're fine tracks. They're not high res tracks. It's okay. You're getting 48 of them. You
Mhm.
know? Like
Or, I'm
Oh,
sorry, it was
go ahead.
59. Well, how much was the World Tour version?
World Tour, you're saying the DLC for Mario Kart 8?
No, because there's the DLC and then there's another package that people were on Twitter. People made a huge deal about how you have to pay $59 for the OG game plus the World Tour package, and then this you just have to pay $25 for the DLC.
Well, because the original, so Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is Mario Kart 8 plus, I guess, is that the World Tour package?
No, Booster Course. That's what this is. So the DLC is Booster Course.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Because Mario Kart
And then-
Tour is the mobile game, for those of you who
Yeah,
are already
that's what it
confused.
Yeah. Mario Kart Tour is the one that you have to pay an outrageous amount for.
Oh,
And the
Mario Kart,
DLC is...
Mario
Go
Kart
ahead.
Tour is freemium, and if you wanted to pay for it, they have like a $5 a month thing, as well as they have like an in-game currency that you can buy. I have been able to play a whole lot of that as well and not had to buy anything.
Oh, okay,
So
good for you. People have been saying, like, they've just been complaining all over the place about how...
you can play that game and just have fun. The only thing is, whenever they do this, they break the mechanics, the fundamental mechanics of the game. So, like, for instance, the way you get carts in the game sometimes is by green coins. They'll have like special green coins around the map. So how do you get those green coins? There's like specific courses that have those green coins. So it's more efficient to just do those courses as opposed to doing every track and just do that stuff on loop until you get enough coins and then buy things. Like when you have to game the system to be efficient, it feels weird. Mario Kart DLC is also being included. Mitch Burns is saying Mario Kart DLC is also being included in Nintendo Online Plus, so they're trying to sweeten the deal since it's so bad.
Yeah.
I agree as well. I mean, I love when people say that, like, I already have that DLC, and I'm like, for now. until they
So what I
cancel.
did like about it was that rather than giving you a whole nother game to pay an additional $60 for, they're just giving you
Yeah.
the same game that you've enjoyed, but just for $25.
I mean, I would have gone for something fresh had I had the option. I'm
Yeah.
also not a Mario Kart guy. The thought of having like more characters to me was very interesting. I would have totally gone for that. But I'm not. I'm like seeing this from Nintendo's perspective, and absolutely agreeing with them. Like we have a chance to just tack on $30 to the game that every Switch Switch owner has or has multiple copies of.
Yes,
So
100%.
So financially for Nintendo, I just totally see it, and I'm not really fighting. Any more thoughts on this? Because we have a bunch of these other things to go through really quickly.
Go for it.
Go for it, Kirby. I assume there's gonna be a pause here. Nobody with thoughts on Kirby.
It's not my genre. It's not my series.
I love platformers. I was never a Kirby guy, but 3D platformers are my jam, so I'm sure I'll be picking this. Oh no, I'm sure I'll be playing. I'm gonna try out the demo because the demo's out.
Watching the gameplay has been more interesting than the actual announcement trailer. I'll tell you that much.
Interesting. And they say it's the first 3D Kirby, but I think there was a downloadable 3D Kirby title for the 3DS. I just want to say that. Also,
Maybe.
Kirby 64. Well, maybe not Kirby 64.
That wasn't 3D. Yeah, that
no,
wasn't
it's
3D.
2.5. Okay, the downloadable title for the 3DS, where there is a downloadable title where it's top down.
Okay, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yes.
If
I
you
have a
can
friend
jump,
that's a
it's
huge
3D.
fan. Yeah. And then I just want to get into Advance Wars really quick.
Oh, I
because
can't wait.
a lot of people are Advance Wars fans as well. And then they completely surprised me with this. I thought whenever I first saw the first part of it, I was like, oh, look, it's a DLC for Splatoon 2. No, it's a brand spanking new game.
I'm so confused why they're making a Splatoon 3. Like, isn't that
first
a one?
of all, the engine for Splatoon 2 is not geared towards Horde mode. Whereas the engine in Splatoon 3 is more geared for that kind of big event.
Okay.
So they're using a different engine by the looks of the gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
Or the gameplay footage. It's a completely different engine that they're using.
But like, I don't know, it's just like it's a multiplayer game. It's as if they said we're getting another Smash Brothers to me. I'm just a little confused in that sense. Does that make sense to anyone?
Yes and no. And the fact that the Smash Brothers franchise, I'm pretty sure, is done now. With the way things have recently gone.
Yeah.
But like, I firmly believe that they want to take Splatoon into the direction of like Major League Gaming, and they want to open it up to more general audiences with the Horde mode.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'd be down for Horde mode. I didn't really get into Splatoon 2. I appreciate it for what it is. I appreciate that they made a shooter that is casual and like silly and fun and more
Yeah,
about like painting. Like that's awesome. Um we've got
Ray
also yeah.
Ray's was geeking out about it earlier. I wanted her to talk about
Uh,
the a return of a certain game,
ooh.
The return? Wait,
the
which
return
game?
of the sports.
Oh yeah. Wii Sports. I mean, it's like I will forever call it Wii Sports, but it's like it's basically Wii Sports remade.
Yeah, they really
Switch.
should have just called it Wii Sports. I don't know, like or
For the
given it its own
Switch.
title. Switch Sports?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm excited. Oh my gosh, the Wii Sports music has always been such a meme, and I'm so glad that it's coming back.
Yeah.
I just want to turn on my game and hear the do 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 do. Like,
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
It's
It's
coming
gonna
oh
out
my
like
next
god,
month too.
is
really?
it?
Oh,
Oh my
so
god, is it
soon.
so soon?
Yeah.
I don't
Um
even remember when it's coming, but I'm
April
excited. I'm
29th is
excited
the
for
release date.
yes. That is like the only physical activity I ever did as a child was Wii Sports. So I
um
will get Switch Sports and I will be physically active.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um Cuphead has been there for forever. Lego Brawls, I'm waiting. I'm curious. It could be a Lego game that is not one paint by numbers and two bad. You know, it could be. We don't know.
It's it's Lego, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, they've had a history of making games for children 10 and under.
Yeah.
There's no real I don't see any real substance to it other than just sandbox gaming.
It could very well be. Uh Portal Collection. I am ecstatic about Portal Collection. It is both Portal games, which are already sign me up. Okay, what are you charging for this? $40, $60? It's Portal. I know it's a $4. I know it's like a $4, $5 PC collection, right? I know it's a cheap game. I
Yeah, you
will
can get it on
understand.
Steam really cheap.
I understand Switch tax. Just give me it, and it's $20 out of the gate. Portal 1 and 2. Cake is a lie. That's right, Mitch. The cake is a lie. It's if anyone has not played Portal, there's like oh, that is odd. Did you guys hear my phone?
I
Yeah,
did not.
Oh,
I heard
okay.
it.
My
It's
phone
okay.
like my phone picked up, which is very weird when you're talking Portal. Um uh so yes, just play Portal if you haven't. Klonoa, I mean, I'm excited. I know this is one of those things where people were excited where people have been talking about a remake for this for forever. And the Kingdom Hearts collection, I have seen so many people rag on the cloud version of the game.
It's
I've
bad.
seen trailers where it's like it's the Kingdom Hearts uh cloud edition trailer, but they just lag the entire way through the trailer. Like even the titles and stuff, and then at the end they just need a connection.
It's
Uh
pretty bad.
Earthbound.
Oh
Now,
man.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. There are a specific group of people who are obsessed with Earthbound. It's
Let me just say this.
yeah.
It's an injustice that we still haven't gotten Mother 3 or 4 stateside
Well,
without fan translation.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's well, we figured out already that like they had Earthbound translated. Sorry, not Earthbound. Was it
Mother.
Earthbound
It's Mother.
Beginnings? Like they
Yeah,
had
yeah,
that
yeah.
translated in the backlog, so you know that
Yes.
they have Mother 3 translated.
Yes.
I don't know the like nature of Mother 3, but I know that it's something they can't do, right? I've heard it is something they can't do.
I think it's specifically because of licensing issues.
Really?
Um,
Itoy?
we were never able to get it after once the game was produced on for the Famicom, Super Famicom. We were never able to get it.
What? The Earthbound Beginnings?
No, Mother 3.
Or Mother 3 came out on the GBA.
Was it? Oh, okay. Then I was wrong.
Mother 3
Which
was
version?
developed for the N64,
Right.
and they didn't have a competent team, so it disbanded.
That's
And
what
so
it was.
there's Mother 3 stuff that's out there if you look it up that's in 3D, and it's trippy.
Mhm.
And then it was developed for the GBA.
Beginnings was the one that we
Yes.
couldn't get for the longest time. That's right.
Yes. And then we got it. We got it after a copy actually got out into the wild of the translated internal version. I think it was before. I think we got it. Sorry, I think we got it after someone got one of the copies that Nintendo had. So like we already knew that they had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray, are you? I'm guessing you're not a big fan of the Earthbound series, or not familiar with it.
Nope,
Okay.
I am not. But even though I did not play this game, I was wondering even where their information was for Breath of the Wild 2, because they released so much this Nintendo Direct and nothing about Breath of the Wild 2.
As much as I want Breath of the Wild 2, I'm conditioned by Nintendo to know this is on the next console. But
Oh,
but here's the thing. It's not on the next console because we have 5 years left in the lifespan for this console. They're treating this console like the Game Boy.
okay.
I'm here for it. I mean, the Switch. I mean, it's not a 4K.
Give me an updated Switch that's not the OLED.
Well, I'm still good with my version. I don't,
Yeah, I
I
guess
don't
my
care.
version works fine. I don't know. I don't need to spend more money, I guess.
Yeah, I love the Switch. I think
Yeah.
it does things too. You know, like we talked about earlier when we were talking about Pokemon, about like the graphics capabilities of the Switch and it not living up to like the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it does its job. We
It's
enjoy the games that we play on it.
it's like playing Metroid Dread and being like, it's your responsibility making Metroid Dread to make this a spectacle. Because you're on this hardware and you're Nintendo. But now that I'm done playing Metroid Dread, I'm going back to Hollow Knight and playing in 2D. You know, they don't need to do stuff. They just need to make good games. I don't know. It's I guess I just like the hype cycle for it. I don't mind going backwards and playing on the 3DS or the 2DS, the DS. Sorry.
So you want to know a game that was announced that I was super hyped for
Yeah.
ever since they announced they were working on it 3 years ago, or
Yeah,
two and a
hit me.
half years. Triangle Strategy.
Really?
Triangle Strategy, I was hyped for it, but then I saw the release trailer for it, the final trailer, and I was like, I am no longer hyped for it because I'm a huge tactics fan.
Yeah.
I'm a huge, RTS kind of guy. And at first, Triangle Strategy hooked me, and I was following the developers' Twitter, and I was just like, man, I can't wait till this game comes out. But then the first delay happened, the second delay happened, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, like, are we ever gonna see this again? And then when they did the final trailer, I was like, you know what? I'm over this. I'm no longer excited about it.
Have you played Wargroove though?
I haven't, no.
Oh, I mean, I assume you're an Advance Wars fan?
Yeah.
Then yes, definitely put that on your list. I only like specifically. I'm not a big RPG guy, but I do like specific tactical RPGs. So I thought I'd like Fire Emblem, but I don't know why. I think it might be too story intensive or something. I was always a big Advance Wars guy, and so I moved to Wargroove, which is essentially the equivalent of Harvest Moon to Stardew Valley. This is what a small
Yeah.
team being like, we really like this type of game, so we're gonna make something better. Um, Anywho,
No,
yeah.
but I mean, RTSs have a real chance to shine because there's a whole generation that never played RTSs.
Well, this is not real time. This is
I'm sorry, turn
turn based.
turn-based,
Yeah, yeah,
turn-based strategy.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
anyway, apologies.
No, didn't that come out? Didn't
Triangle
Strategy?
Strategy is already out. It came out
It
2
just
days
came
ago.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I was excited for it, but after watching the final trailer, I don't know if I'm so excited anymore, honestly.
Yeah. I'm like
It just
looking at
didn't
this and
something about it just didn't, and it doesn't strike me as interesting.
yeah, it
All right.
feels as bland as the name.
Yeah. I guess. And then there's the Taiko no Tatsujin.
What's that? Is that Live a Live?
It's the Rhythm Festival, which I'm excited for.
Interesting. Oh, the drumming game. I have that game.
Yes.
I have I guess the current one. It's fine.
Yeah.
It has Moana in Japanese and Megalovania DLC.
I know, it's so great.
It's so weird. And I like Guitar Hero. I'm not into this. I wanted
Oh,
to
you're
be
not
into
into
it.
rhythm gaming?
I'm into rhythm gaming. I play I play Beat Saber and Guitar Hero and I wanted to be into this and I guess I'm not. Yeah.
What about
DDR.
what about you, Ray? Are you
Are
into
you
any
into
rhythm
rhythm
gaming?
games? No. Not even Mario DDR for the GameCube.
I never had a GameCube. I'm that young.
That's um
Remember
My
she
first
told us
Nintendo
her age.
console was the Nintendo DS.
yes.
The Nintendo DS Lite specifically, so not even the original DS. It was the Lite was my first, and the Wii was my other first. I got them around the
Which
same time.
had Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero grew out of the Wii, not the
I
DS. There is a
played
DS one. It's
Guitar
horrible.
Hero at like friends' houses, but I never owned Guitar Hero myself.
Oh yeah.
I did play like I had like a singing one. I had like like I think I had like Disney Sing It or whatever. That for
Oh
the Wii.
yes, I actually have the mic from that. Yeah.
Yeah. I had like one of those,
It
but I never had Just Dance and I never had Guitar Hero, but I did have like a singing one.
it feels weird using the Disney Sing It mic to sing in Guitar Hero 5, I believe it is. You
Ben, I
get to
already did a karaoke stream. I'm not
amazing.
gonna entertain that again, okay?
Yeah. Now you're really tempting us to have you do it. Yeah, you know
I
what?
think he
I'll
was
do
there
it.
for that.
Gaming Avengers, let's do it. Let's do a
No,
Guitar Hero stream.
I can do a Guitar Hero stream.
I don't know how we
We actually
do that though.
let me see.
Anywho,
I feel like I'd be
I
pretty
think you
good
can
at
see it.
Guitar Hero.
oh wow, you have it
Yeah.
right on hand.
Yeah,
I feel
well,
like
my
I'd be
wife,
pretty
we have
good
our
at it at
PS2
the
right next
Evolution.
to us.
I picked up. So Ray, I assume you would only be amazing at it. I picked up guitar and Guitar Hero on the same day.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's a gateway drug for you. Um, what
But
was I going to
Ray,
say?
are there any other games that were announced in the Nintendo Direct? more
I think there
recently?
was one more thing on it, but and later remind me because I do
And,
want to
like,
say one
I
more thing
wanted?
on the stupid Sing It
Yeah,
mic.
that you want.
The
I
only
think
thing I was
the
going to
only
say
ones
is
Sorry,
Metroid
go ahead,
Dread.
Pocket.
What?
Metro Dread.
Oh, Metro, you're excited for Metro Dread?
I'm super curious who in their right mind is going to be able to finish the update. The update is one hit KO.
Ooh.
That is not Steel Heart mode from Hollow Knight where you get one life. You get if you get hit by a trailing missile, you're toast. I want to see someone complete that. I'm super intrigued. That's not yeah, and they're doing a boss rush. Anywho, that's all I wanted to say. Um, And
But yeah, in terms of everything that was denounced on the Nintendo Direct, the only things that I'm excited for are Wii Sports. I'm
Wii
gonna call it Wii
Sports.
Sports, even though it's not Wii Sports, but are Wii Sports and the new Mario Kart
Yeah.
DLC. Cause Coconut Mall, we're getting Coconut Mall back.
I'm so excited. For the only thing that's missing are the double dash stages, but that's just
Oh, really? Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I loved the double dash courses, and I loved the what was the one that came before the 64 courses. I want more of.
oh man. Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy with what we have. I haven't played Mario Kart enough. My nephew just plays it all the time. Anywho, um, I, I guess I will say the one thing because I don't want to trail off too far from it, and then we'll go into some final thoughts on things. It feels weird picking up the Disney Sing It remote for the Wii and singing in Guitar Hero 5 playing as Kurt Cobain. It feels like he is rolling in his grave. Like, yeah. Which, by the way, look up the controversy over it. It has a very confusing legacy. I think they did not get the rights to use Kurt Cobain's likeness.
In Guitar Hero and one
In
of the more
Guitar Hero
recent Guitar
5,
Heroes.
there's a
Yeah.
weird history with
Mhm.
the likeness
Wow.
licenses. I don't know. There's no lawsuit, but there's no whatever.
They didn't, so they couldn't confirm that it was Kurt Cobain. It was just a Kurt Cobain-esque character.
What are you googling it?
What's that? No, I knew about the controversy.
Oh, okay.
That's why there's no lawsuit, because he's Kurt Cobain adjacent. He's
Oh,
not,
really?
they don't have him in name. They just have him in like.
That would do it. That's so silly. Oh my god. Anywho, wow.
Yeah, the
So
games that I mostly look forward to when it comes to Nintendo are Pokemon. That's like the primary thing that I play when it comes to Nintendo as a whole company.
there have to be some surprises coming up, you know? Like
Yeah.
if they had this many surprises in the bag for it's probably it's either two options, right? There's probably some surprising Pokemon games coming up, like some mystery dungeon. It feels like they just consistently will
Ooh.
put those out. Um, or the other option is COVID hit and they needed to like, okay, we have this Pokemon Snap we've been building, throw it out there, throw out, everything while people are waiting. Um,
Yeah, it was perfect timing to get into gaming with the
yeah,
pandemic.
yeah. I don't know. I do hope we get some surprises though. There's definitely more we're going to see this year. Um,
I want Let's Go Johto. I
it'll
thought
happen.
I thought Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee were great games. And if they made a Let's Go in the Johto region, I would be all over it.
Okay,
I would
Ray,
not.
somebody's been reading on those articles. So they say that the Johto region is the next step, because if you look at the order of releases way back in the days of DS and 3DS,
Mhm.
they went from they did Alpha Ruby, uh and then they did a Mega Sapphire after XYZ,
Yeah,
and then they did the next gen, and then they went back to Johto again, and they kind of did that cycle where they went all the way through up to the
Mm.
Sinnoh region, and so now the logical step is after this new gen is to go to Johto. That's the rumor.
interesting. Well,
I think they also could make a I know this has been a fan made thing, but a Pokemon Legends Celebi or something like that.
no,
Because
I'm sure they're gonna. I'm sure they're going to continue Arceus. Arceus was
yep,
like as a franchise. I'm sure they're gonna continue it. I'm on
yep.
board with it. I actually am more
Well,
critical of the other stuff.
So
I'm more
here's the
critical of
deal.
Let's Go.
All right, Pocket, you
I
mentioned
liked it.
earlier, and I'm surprised nobody else caught up on this, but Pokemon
Oh boy.
Conquest.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Pokemon Conquest for just a hot minute,
This is
because
a game I've actually haven't played before,
okay. Oh
but
my
people
god.
have like talked about it as being such a great one.
Well,
Oh
because
man, I gotta tell you.
it's Fire Emblem with Pokemon characters.
Yes, and
It's
it's great.
great.
It is amazing. They have yet to make a sequel series about it, and
But
I'm
it's because it
kind
was
of
a
upset.
crossover. look, I'm a big fan of these other games and not Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah,
is
it doesn't have to be a catch 'em all sandbox game. It could
yeah,
be something different.
like they could whatever any of their spin-offs except for Run,
So it
Pokemon
was.
Dash.
Do you
Yeah.
remember? Do you remember what region Pokemon Conquest was set in? We haven't
No,
revisited.
but I have
Okay.
it. I have Pokemon Conquest. Actually, like,
Yeah, I have it too. I have the actual cartridge and everything
yeah,
and I
have it
still
right
have
here.
it. There you go.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that region, and that region was actually, I think it was historical Japan, but they
Yeah,
called it by a different name because it was Nobunaga and his story.
Pokemon Conquest was weird because the trainers would evolve too. And Ray, you would have loved it. I mean, being able to like have 6 Pokemon but move them around a map. I mean, it's turn based, but it's really cool.
It was so
Pokemon
again.
Conquest came out right when I stopped playing Pokemon.
It was 2013, I think, or
2012, one
2012.
year
Yeah,
older. I played. That was the time I went into high school. The fall of 2012 was my grade 9
there it
year
is.
in high school.
That's the
There
cartridge.
it is.
There it is, backwards. I
And
got the backwards version.
it was around that time that I was like that I stopped playing Pokemon
Yeah.
because like when I was a kid, I was like trying to be cool and a
Yeah, I
little
had that phase.
nerdy. And
It
so
was
that was the phase I went through. Even though I loved Pokemon throughout my middle school, like I played Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Black and White. I just went all in Pokemon and then all of a sudden just stopped. I regret it so much, but Conquest came out when I stopped.
and it was a shame too because it got covered up in releases because there was Pokemon or Pikachu, Detective Pikachu, and Mystery Dungeon 2 or 3 was released around the same time.
That's a
Mhm.
weird coincidence because Conquest is a 2DS game, as a DS game, and Detective Pikachu is a 3DS game.
I thought the original was put out on DS.
The
Maybe not.
Detective Pikachu, unless it was in Japan, released on the DS.
Uh-huh.
No, because it's a 3D game.
It's a 3D game. Okay, fair.
Yeah, but the
it
other
was
ones are
definitely-
probably add up. Yeah.
It was covered up in releases because it was very quietly released because
It's
like
so weird. I
nobody
mean,
else.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, we need a Dynasty Warriors.
Oh man, I'm in. Mitch, good idea.
Yeah, I would love for that. But as a Tactics fan, I played the most out of Conquest during that time. I played it more so than I played any of the other
I
Pokemon
am
games.
so excited for you to play Wargroove. It is so what you're looking for.
I was hoping that triangle strategy was what I was looking for, but after seeing the trailer, I was
Yeah.
like, nope.
So let's run around. We're gonna start wrapping things up really quickly. I mean, any final thoughts on the past couple of weeks? We've had so much news. Um, I don't know, like anything that really stuck out for you guys.
I'm excited for the grass cat.
Grass cat.
I want the grass cat.
I want the grass cat. I,
Pokemon wise, yeah, I'm excited for Scarlet and Violet, but I still feel like I have a lot more to do with Arceus, though. I want to explore a lot.
yeah, I have to go back to playing. I see here. I mean, this is my DS collection. It's insane.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Whoa.
So DS was a forgotten gem of a handheld console because it had so many good games.
Yeah, well,
on it.
this is DS/3DS. You can see the white and the black here.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And coincidentally, yeah, Pokemon Black and Pokemon White are in here. But one of these sides is shovelware, so don't worry. Gremlin's Gizmo is on one of the sides.
Shovel.
But yeah, you guys make me want to go play Pokemon Conquest again and Pokemon Troze. Like just
I mean,
Just,
if I had a graphics card for my 3DS, I would be streaming Pokemon Conquest.
oh, I mean, yeah, that's what I want to do now. It's such a setup, but I have the computer to do it. Oh, it's such
there's
pain.
a universal HDMI capture cable that works with cell phones and 3DSs.
We'll have to talk after. I think the only way of doing it, I literally messaged one of the guys quoted in an article for making a DS on two widescreen TVs,
Hmm.
and they were saying that they did that through a dev kit, and the only real way for me to do it is to hack my 3DS and
That's
use
not something you want
use
to do.
Wi-Fi and the program, because there was
Well,
one person
okay.
I'm going on a tiny tangent. There's one person who did it. They made boards. You'd ship them or you'd modify your 3DS yourselves. They stopped operating, and even Game Grumps recently was taught. This was like years and years ago. They stopped operating, and there are some people who have them. Like I have a friend of a friend who has them, and like Game Grumps was like, "This is the only software that one guy did, and this is what we have." So
So there's the Nuzlocke community, going back to them. They have to, if you want to do like a true Nuzlocke, they have these capture cards that kind of work with mobile phones as well as
interesting.
DSs, and it's like via a memory card, because it's through the memory card slot, the
Yeah,
SD memory card slot. You hook it up to a little attachment and then you can USB it directly to the PC. I'll have to look
interesting.
for it.
It might be DS and not 3DS. That's something I tend to I
Yeah,
guess
because I
see.
know, like you said, 3DS has they have this internal program that looks for if to see if it's been hacked, and it'll shut down. It'll do a soft lock on all major releases
Oh
on like the
boy.
first party software. Will do
I,
soft locks.
it's leave it to the professionals. That it's gonna be a fun time if I end up doing this. Um, I'll do it on a 2DS, but I really want to grab a new advanced hardware to do it. Anywho, alas, we gotta start wrapping up. So, um, I guess with takeaways, because we already did takeaways, just tell them more about what they can find on your channels. Um, I know you guys are working on many different things. I guess Joho, you went first before Rhaeveon. Would you like to go first this time?
Oh, I went first before, but
That's
yes,
right.
I'll go. Yeah. So, I mean, I spoke a lot about Pokemon tonight on the podcast, so you can bet your dollar that you'll have Pokemon in my channel if you come and check me out. Today we actually played Alpha Sapphire in my stream, and that was very fun.
Oh, it's such a good
Finished
game. I
my
have that one.
I am
Yeah.
almost finished my first playthrough of Alpha Sapphire because, like
It's
I
so
said, I fell out of Pokemon. So I've been doing first playthroughs of some of those games on my stream, which everyone is really enjoying. I finished X, and now I'm doing Alpha Sapphire. Next up is Sun and Moon, one of those.
I
But
I would recommend Ultra Sun and Moon because it's an expansion of the
everyone has been
story.
recommending Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon rather
Just
than the
base
original.
base Sun and Moon has next to zero content for
I
you.
think you advised it, so I bought a new copy. You can get a new copy.
What do you mean a new copy?
Well, as in like I bought a copy that wasn't used, and like you
Oh,
still can do that. Probably not for long, but you still can do that from the Pokemon Center.
wow.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Probably not from the Canadian Pokemon Center.
Well,
We
the
don't have
Pokemon Center
Canadian.
online.
Yeah, there's a Canadian version
Oh,
and an American
really?
version, and the
I
American
just want to say
version has
something.
more
All
stuff.
right, I just want to
Yes.
say Canadians are getting a lot more love from Game Freak now. It
Yeah,
was
apparently we have the trading card game
the
beta.
live. Y'all have the beta. Y'all have access to the beta
Oh,
before
that's right.
anybody else does.
I have not used it.
It's
I know
okay, Joho. We've got
Honeydude has been in the
magic.
chat,
No,
but
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm happy because the Canadians for the last 5 to 6 years have been shafted on Pokemon specific product releases.
Oh,
tell me
wow.
about it. Tell me about it. We get nothing.
That's not
So I've
cool.
got
We get
I've got a lot of
nothing.
friends. Of course, Tuba Swan, who's Canadian. I've got a lot of friends who look for Pokemon exclusives in Canada, both on video games as well as TCG, as well as Pokemon Center product specific things or Pokemon Center
Yeah.
specific products, and you just get
Mhm.
robbed.
I have to
Yeah.
like set up a PO box or something or whatever. I'll just go every week to the Pokemon Center, the one location in New York City, buy things for everyone, and then ship them off.
Well, yeah, New York has its own specific
We have the
Pokemon Center.
only we have the
Yeah,
only Pokemon Center. I was there
in the
today.
states.
It it's
I'm so
phenomenal.
jealous of you.
Yeah, I'll
I
send more
want one.
photos. Yeah. Um.
I need one.
Yes. One Pokemon Center, please.
Yeah.
Yep. Alas, was that Rhaeveon? You said your stuff, Joho.
Yeah.
So I never got a chance to introduce myself. I just jumped in the conversation.
Yes, I feel like we did. Yeah.
So that was my fault for not saying anything. I'm Joe, the Joe Vega.
Yes.
I am a variety streamer and a filthy casual. You can catch me doing anything and everything. I dabble, and also I am part of the CR Game Room, which
Yes.
I'm gonna plug. We are a group of variety streamers.
And you have been
That
playing more Magic. I've been
yeah,
I've been
I've been playing
tempted.
Magic since I revamped my channel specifically. I've been doing a lot more focus on Commander content.
Okay.
So I did a Let's Brew with Commander mechanics, some bigger names. I have an interview with some actual they
Ooh.
call themselves the filthy casuals, Jin and Don. And I've been doing a lot more of the interview type things. I did one with Iznib. I did one with Commander
Mm.
Mechanic, and then I'm gonna do one with Jin and Donnie of the
I
Filthy Casuals.
I am such a dork. I play so much Magic in real life.
Yeah,
And so I am almost tempted to bring Magic onto the stream, but I don't want to alienate people either way. I know
yeah.
people are just here anyways. So
People will show up for my shenanigans and antics because I'm terrible at every game. Like I
yeah.
play Halo Infinite, I play Pokemon Unite, I play Magic, I play the Pokemon TCG, I play a lot of video games, and I'm horrible at all of them. People just show up because they want to watch me lose those.
Exactly. You know how to
Okay,
have a
sorry.
good time.
um. So anyway, you can find me with the game room every Tuesday night. Right now, we're doing Dungeons and Dragons,
Ooh.
which is a lot of fun, and we've got a bunch of special guests up there. But you can find me there as well as my regular scheduled programming under the underscore job brand. Thank you for having me
No,
for the
thank
second
you.
time.
And I'm very
Yeah.
excited to, like you said before, we should be talking at some point about having some Magic the Gathering collab
Yes,
soon, anyways.
we
So,
want you. We want you on for Commander for sure.
oh
Like the
yeah,
game
we're
room
gonna
play.
have some fun. Uh, so everyone, thank you all. This was absolutely phenomenal. We're gonna have some more announcements later in the week about possibly next week's podcast. Tuesday we'll be playing Mario Party, um, Super Mario Party again. We did it this week with uh, KK Ryder and Gaming Avengers, and we're gonna have more people.
So
So
fun.
this might end up being a weekly thing if anyone is interested. And Thursday we're gonna be doing Minecraft again, probably. If it seems like that's the way we're going. For now, I guess let's head over from one podcast to another. Um,
There you go.
unless you guys have a specific suggestion of who we should raid. Scrubverse is, some of them are friends. So any one from the chat or over here wanting any specific raid? And by the way, chat, thank you so much for bearing with us through this entire endeavor. Um, I guess let's just head over to our buddies at Scrubverse. Let's see how it is.
Nice.
Yay.
I
Bye, everybody.
yeah. Um, I'm so excited for the next Pokemon stuff.
Me
It
too.
it's coming this
It
year.
happened.
Like seriously. All right, guys. We'll catch you then.